the dense, unforgiving forests at the border of Belarus and Poland have become a stage for a humanitarian crisis. Thousands of migrants, primarily from the Middle East and Afghanistan, are trapped in a desperate limbo. Lured by the promise of a better life in the European Union, they find themselves pawns in a geopolitical chess game orchestrated by Belarus's authoritarian leader, Alexander Lukashenko.
The European Union has imposed numerous sanctions on Belarus in response to human rights abuses and the suppression of democracy. These sanctions have crippled the Belarusian economy, prompting Lukashenko to retaliate by weaponizing migration. He has been accused of facilitating the arrival of migrants, promising them easy entry into the EU, a claim the EU vehemently denies.
This calculated move has sparked outrage and condemnation from the EU and its member states, particularly Poland, which shares the brunt of the border crisis. The situation has spiraled into a tense standoff, with both sides accusing each other of violating international law and human rights. The migrants, caught in the crossfire, are the true victims of this manufactured crisis. The situation on the ground is dire. Migrants, including women and children, are stranded in freezing temperatures, lacking food, water, and medical care. Reports emerge daily of hypothermia, starvation, and disease spreading through the makeshift camps. Aid organizations have been denied access by Belarusian authorities, further exacerbating the humanitarian crisis.
Poland, too, has been criticized for its harsh response. The country has erected barbed wire fences, deployed thousands of troops, and imposed a state of emergency, effectively sealing off the border. While Poland argues these measures are necessary to protect its sovereignty, human rights groups accuse them of violating international law by denying asylum seekers the right to seek protection.
The stories emerging from the border are heartbreaking: families separated, dreams shattered, and lives lost in the pursuit of a better future. The humanitarian cost of this manufactured crisis is immeasurable, leaving a scar on the conscience of Europe. Poland's response to the crisis has been met with mixed reactions. On the one hand, the government argues that it is simply protecting its borders and citizens from an influx of illegal migrants orchestrated by a hostile foreign power. The deployment of troops, the construction of border walls, and the pushbacks of migrants attempting to cross are justified as necessary measures to safeguard national security.
However, human rights organizations and international bodies have raised serious concerns about Poland's approach. The denial of access to asylum procedures, the use of force against vulnerable individuals, and the reports of illegal pushbacks into Belarus raise questions about Poland's commitment to international law and human rights obligations.
The situation presents a moral dilemma for the EU. While Poland's security concerns are understandable, the bloc cannot turn a blind eye to potential human rights violations. Finding a balance between protecting borders and upholding humanitarian principles is a challenge that the EU must address urgently. The crisis at the Belarus-Poland border is not merely a migration issue, it's a calculated geopolitical play by Alexander Lukashenko, with tacit support from his ally, Vladimir Putin.
Lukashenko, facing increasing isolation and pressure from the West, is exploiting the vulnerability of the EU's eastern border to retaliate against sanctions and sow discord within the bloc.
Russia, too, benefits from the chaos. By supporting Lukashenko's regime, Putin aims to destabilize the EU, undermine its unity, and weaken its resolve against Russian aggression in the region.
The migrant crisis serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of the EU's eastern flank and the Kremlin's willingness to exploit any opportunity to advance its interests.
The EU's response to the crisis will have far-reaching implications. Failure to address the situation decisively risks emboldening Lukashenko and Putin, leading to further provocations and instability in the region.
A united and robust response is crucial to deter future aggression and protect the EU's external borders.
complex world.